So what happens if your lead doesn't qualify? You might be introduced to somebody, either an online lead or somebody has referred them over, and they don't qualify. Typically, we're speaking about buyers at this point. There are some sellers that don't qualify as well. They may not have a motivation. Their expectations may not be realistic. They want to sell their home for $100,000 more than what it's worth, or something along those lines. But usually the lack of qualifying is for a buyer. So let's just focus in that realm for a moment. If you get introduced to somebody and you're talking to them and they don't qualify, there might be some other ways to go about it. So let's just break this down real quick. Let's say you introduce them to your lender partner and the lender partner comes back and says they have a 435 credit score. There's nothing I can do for them. Can we introduce them to credit repair? Are there ways that we can improve their credit by maybe paying off some bad debt, getting some new positive debt started for them, becoming an authorized user on somebody's credit card often gets their scores up? What kinds of options do we have to help them improve their credit? I happen to have a podcast called Credit Coaching by Christy, and I love sending people there that have credit riddled problems, because there's hundreds of episodes in there, at least over 100, that can answer any kind of question, direct them to the information that they're looking for, and help them build their knowledge base to get their credit scores up. What if they can't prove income? Maybe they get paid under the table, or they're 1099 or self-employed and they write off all of their expenses against their income, so their tax returns show that they are broke as a joke. Can there be a cosigner in their life? Is there a loan program that will allow us to use bank statements because they've got decent bank statement deposits? There are usually other loan types outside of the norm. It might require a larger down payment or higher credit score than where they're at right now, but now we have an aim, right? Maybe they have to start a new job, and this new job doesn't start for 4 or 5 months. How do you nurture that conversation in the meantime? I'd really start with finding out and uncovering what they really like and don't like about their next property. Maybe ask them for some comparisons about what they'd like to see in the next home, what they definitely don't want to have in their next home. Maybe show them some properties just on an online listing and say, what are your thoughts about this? I hate the small bedrooms. I don't like that there's not a pool. The front door walks into almost a wall. I need something a little bit more open. At least you start getting an idea of what's important to them while you're waiting. You're showing some hustle and some work, and that you care about their future endeavor of working with you when they do start that new job, when the relocation is going to happen, or when they file taxes in a couple more months and now we can qualify for that loan. So just having that conversation, staying in front of them, and also showing them that you're keeping a pulse on the market. Hey, I know that we were around that 450 mark on that purchase price. I just want to show you what's going on in the communities that you identified that were important to you. Keep a pulse on this market, show you what's selling, what's not selling, how fast things are moving, if there's a difference in prices upward or downward. Just wanted to have that conversation with you. You're keeping that conversation so that way they remember you when it's their time, instead of the next real estate agent that just happens to be standing in front of them when they say, I think I'm ready to buy. So you're just continuing that conversation. Why else might not they be able to buy? Maybe there was a recent derogatory event like a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, a short sale. There are many loan programs that have a very short window of time required to get past that. So we might need to just expand from the standard conventional loan program and look at other programs that are out there. Maybe they don't have down payment assistance. There are plenty of down payment assistance programs out there, and many people can qualify. I know of a program that is a 100% FHA, available through many, many lenders. It's the 96.5% first mortgage. It's a 3.5% second mortgage. It brings you to that 100%. If they just truly don't have any money, now you're negotiating, the seller's paying their closing costs. But you can potentially get 100% financing with that FHA, down payment assistance program. A lot of them go down to a 600 credit score. A lot of them don't require you to be a first-time home buyer, and a lot of them don't have income caps. A lot of times the government down payment assistance programs, loans, sometimes there's grants, usually it's a loan. They usually have the requirement of being a first-time home buyer, a cap on how much money you can earn, and they also require a minimum credit score, usually 640. but there are other workaround programs. So if somebody tells you no, like a loan officer, maybe go to a second party and just run it by them. Say, hey, this is a situation. Do you have a solution for that? A lot of times brokers have availability of additional loan programs outside of what maybe a banker or a direct lender might have access to. So if one person tells you no, I encourage you not to stop there and maybe go and ask a different party with a different company, run that scenario by them and see if you might be able to serve your client. That way you can find a solution, you're the solution creator, and you help them into the home that they want. You've got another satisfied client, you've got a closed deal, and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're in your zone, creating solutions and finding ways where it feels like there isn't a way. Now, if somebody is just like such a wreck in their life, they don't have employment, they have a lousy credit score, they just had a foreclosure, I don't know, something that was like, yeah, this isn't happening right now, I encourage you to set up some kind of a drip campaign or some way to stay in conversation with them. So that way, when they are ready down the road, or if they have somebody in their life that may not feel comfortable co-signing for them, but they are thinking about buying or selling in the future, they think of you because you're the one that had that care and conversation with them. So if somebody's needing to work on their credit, their down payment savings, their income verification, whatever that is, and they're a year or two out, put them in your CRM, put them on your Excel spreadsheet, have a conversation with them at least every quarter. Call them and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I just wanted to see if anything in your life has changed. I wanted to see if anybody came into your life that could be a cosigner. I wanted to see how you are progressing along with that credit improvement. I know you're working hard towards that. I wanted to encourage you. I wanted to cheer you on. I wanted you to know I was thinking about you. That feels good. Try to avoid the, hey, just checking in, because then it almost sounds like obligatory and about you and not about them. So see if there's any way that you can serve them, if there's anything that they need, if their circumstances have changed, if there's something new that's come along. Gosh, there was some lady I was talking to, I won't give you her name, she was more to me than some lady, but this gal I was talking to for 4 years, every time she got really, really close, something happened, a tragedy in her life where she had to bail out her kid, she had to take care of this thing. There was always something that kept her from it, but we stayed in contact. And she calls me earlier than I called her, and she said, I'm ready, and I'm only working with you. I'm not even going to shop you. I don't care what else is out there. You cared tremendously for me, and I wouldn't want anybody else walking along this journey with me but you. And that meant more to me than anything else, right? This is somebody that I want to take really great care of and continue nurturing through that whole system. And she's a client for life. When it's time to refinance, when it's time to buy her next home, when it's time to, do something different in her life. And she's also the one that's introducing me to all of her friends and family. And it's important who says it. If you say, hey, I'm the best and I care a lot, it's one thing. But when somebody else says they know their business and they care a lot, well, that goes a little bit further. So hope this helps you in knowing what to do with people who aren't ready yet so that you can keep them in your sphere, keep them in conversation, and also start thinking about other ways to create solutions other than what maybe that obvious thing is. Oh, one more thing. I just had another thought. Maybe somebody's not ready yet, but they really want to get into their home and grow their roots there. You could look at those lease option to buys. I know Home Partners of America is one, Divvy is one. Maybe you can check them out. You actually get a closing as a sale through them. That program is a cash buyer for that property that your client then leases back from them, I believe up to 5 years, for them to improve their credit, show their income, work on whatever it is that they need to work on to qualify for a standard loan. And then they buy it from that program when they are ready on paper and can qualify for whatever kind of financing they're going for, conventional, traditional financing, or maybe that bank statement loan program or whatever. But this keeps them from having to go into an overpriced rental, right? And then moving again, that cost of moving can be very, very tremendous. So I'm working with somebody in a similar situation. They're getting ready to have their first baby. They need to get out of their 3rd-story condo apartment that they're living in, and they don't want to move twice. but they're not showing up on paper the way that they need to right now. So we're working with them to get into one of these lease to own. And then when they look right on paper down the road, a year to 2 years from right now, I'll do that in loan for them, and that way they don't have to move. It's the best kind of closing where you don't have to move and you're already got your roots growing deeply into this home, this neighborhood, this community, and this lifestyle. So hope that gives you some ideas on what to do with somebody who's not ready yet.